I am trying to do 2 tapings at one time. And this is going to be fun. But I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm trying to do YouTube and Facebook in a different manner. So forgive me, I'm still setting up. And I'm setting up my Facebook. If you want to see me kind of like in a better quality, go to Facebook. But hey guys, we're live. We're gonna talk about Mr. Trump and Kim Jong Un. I'm gonna give people a little time to chime in because it's time to live and let die. Yeah, I went back to old school. How you doing out there? Hope you had a great week. Last couple of weeks. I know I haven't been around, but hey. I am still setting up, so bear with me for a second as you come in. I will look at the camera and talk in just a second. I won't be saying it's a second, but like at least 2 minutes. 3 minutes. So I know many of you guys are chiming in. All right. I'm trying to fix my YouTube. Let's see if I got the... Hey, YouTube doesn't look too horrible, except for all these screens. Fix my YouTube. See if I got... Hey, YouTube doesn't look too horrible, except for all... So I know you can... I'll be talking in 2 chat rooms. I'll be talking in the chat rooms on Facebook and the chat rooms on YouTube. And I'm so sorry about this stuff here. What is this? Oh, that's the mic. I'm scared to touch anything at this point. Because I just think I'm going to screw it up. Anyway, how you doing out there? Demetrius watching. A lot of good people out there. Bobby B is in the YouTube chat room. How you doing, Bobby? Ramon, Otis, Tiffany. Oh my God. So many of you guys have been so patient with me. I have not been around. I'm going to tell you why. Glenda, how you doing out there? Josh is out there. Otis is out there. David. Tony was one of the first one to pop in there. Pillar, how you doing, girl? Otis Griffin. Eva's on, Mark is on, Ron is on. Sorry about that, Ronnie. Live and let die. Sometimes in life, you got to live and let it die. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Shirley Husar, and you are watching Shirley's World, where we are trying to change your world as well as mine. How are you doing out there? How are you doing out there? For those who are in YouTube, you're watching a screen within a screen on my YouTube channel. So, Tyler Collins, thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for sharing this video. In order for me to be able to get more people to watch my videos, I need you guys to share the video. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that live stream. We all offer different platforms and ideologies on the table. I thank you for those who have supported me and watched me through the years, not just on Facebook, but also Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, as well as Twitter. And just getting the message out that we as individuals need to be consciously moving forward. And that is what we see with the Trump administration. We need to be moving forward. So let's give a shout out to a historical moment, a very historical moment that just took place. And that's with President Trump and representative leader for North Korea, Kim Jong Un, or Jong Un. Everyone says the difference, so I'm just going to say Kim to get it right. So Trump and Kim met. People kept talking about it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. And guess what? It did. Mr. Trump was able to deliver a message that was very clear that America wants to make America great again by having allies, and even their enemies realize that we are people that want to have a conversation with you. Because in order to build a relationship, you have to crawl. You have to walk. You have to run. You have to sprint, and you have to go towards the goal to win the race. And for some reason, there are people out there like Ben Shapiro, who I question really cares about seeing this country try to move forward. Many people have to understand when you're dealing with a TikTok nation like North Korea, there are some TikTok issues going on. Anybody agree with me on that one? I mean, tell me the truth. Paul's out there, Ryan, Cindy's coming in, Jeremy's out there. How you doing? I appreciate all y'all coming out there. Bobby said, absolutely, definitely. I thank you guys so much. Linda's out there, Mary, Tom, Nick Brown. You know how much I love you. I appreciate you guys always chiming in, always supporting me, and listening to my viewpoint. So let's just cut to the chase. If Mr. Trump has done a historical moment, why aren't all Americans happy? That's what I have a question for. I do not understand people who continue to criticize this administration or this president who is changing the pattern of communicating. He is changing, listen to me and pay attention. He is changing the patterns of communicating, because the only way you can change the patterns of communicating is changing the patterns of how you normally do things. In the past, the Democrats had always promised that they were going to deliver something, but they didn't. What we have is an administration that did its job, and he delivered its goods. So I want to go through a couple of things with you. Recently, when Mr. Trump met with the press, you guys know that Mr. Trump said in a manner of communicating, he did it through pictures. Did anybody catch that? Did you guys catch the fact that he used pictures to get his point across to Kim Jong Un and the people of North Korea? Because what they did was brilliant. The White House came up with a video, and I want to show you this video. This video was produced by the White House, and it's really interesting to me to see what they've done. So I'm going to change screens real quick. And this is the White House video. Now pay attention to this video, because they're trying to show something, and there's some subliminal hidden messages what I want to go through with you. Hopefully you can hear this video.
7 billion people inhabit planet Earth. Of those alive today, only a small number will leave a lasting impact. And only the very few will make decisions or take actions that renew their homeland and change the course of history. History may appear to repeat itself for generations. Cycles that never seem to end. There have been times of relative peace and times of great tension. While this cycle repeats, the light of prosperity and innovation has burned bright for most of the world. History is always evolving, and there comes a time when only a few are called upon to make a difference. But the question is, what difference will the few make? The past doesn't have to be the future. Out of the darkness can come the light, and the light of hope can burn bright. What if a people that share a common and rich heritage can find a common future? Their story is well known, but what will be their sequel? Destiny Pictures presents a story of opportunity, a new story, a new beginning, one of peace, 2 men, 2 leaders, 1 destiny. A story about a special moment in time when a man is presented with one chance that may never be repeated. What will he choose? To show vision and leadership, or not? There can only be 2 results. One of moving back. Or one of moving forward. A new world can begin today. One of friendship, respect, and goodwill. Be part of that world where the doors of opportunity are ready to be opened. Investment from around the world where you can have medical breakthroughs, an abundance of resources, innovative technology, and new discoveries. What if? Can history be changed? Will the world embrace this change? And when could this moment in history begin? It comes down to a choice. On this day, in this time, at this moment, the world will be watching, listening, anticipating, hoping. Will this leader choose to advance his country and be part of a new world? Be the hero of his people? Will he shake the hand of peace and enjoy prosperity like he has never seen? A great life or more isolation? Which path will he choose? Featuring President Donald Trump and Chairman Kim Jong Un in a meeting to remake history, to shine in the sun. One moment, one choice. What if? The future remains to be written.
Okay, so that is the video that was, I'm going to stop it. Because we're going to, I want to go back to it and I kind of want to break it down to you. That is the video that was, thank you. That was the video that was shown to Kim Jong Un's people and when they came here to explain the vision of where Mr. Trump wants to go. Kind of cheesy, just a little bit, you know, something like me and you could do as far as the quality. I'm sorry, a little cheesy, but, you know, sometimes the simple things in life conveys the messages that you're trying to get across. And I think the video is very simple. And what it's saying, what if the possibilities of building a relationship between North Korea and America? And if North Korea and South Korea could come together, China feels threatened by that unity. Now, here's an administration that brought Singapore in, who's been talking to the Philippines, and this administration, meaning the Trump administration, the administration that wants to make America great again, is trying to understand the importance of our safety by having our allies and our enemies acknowledge the power structures that are not in place. Keep in mind that President Trump's father had contracts with the government. Many of you guys may not know that. President Trump's father was deep connected in how to make money by utilizing the government. And so Mr. Trump continued on that tradition as well. And the way Mr. Trump continued on that tradition, hold on, I know my YouTube people are having a little challenge because I'm actually showing the wrong screen. With the way Mr. Trump did that, there we go. Sorry about that, people. I'm talking and you're not seeing everything, so I'm going to do the best I can. Like I said, if you're on YouTube and you are watching me, you can also go to Facebook. So I'm kind of playing with some cameras, but I still wanted to go live feed and you can at least listen to what I have to say. So if Mr. Trump understands the business side, the government usability side, now he's the president. He has two folds in his hand. And he said many years ago, he did a video. He said this would be his dream. This would be his dream pretty much to bring these nations of power to gain and understand the true power, which is America. Because see, America and the American people have been taken advantage of. How many of you guys are really paying attention that our clothes, our items that we make, the labels on our waters, the cups, the glasses, a lot of things that we have are made in China. Dishes made in China. Free trade is not free trade. They get 70%, we get 30%. They get 80%, we get 20%. That's not a free trade. That's a win-win chicken dinner for China and everybody who are winning on the other side. So the tariffs and the trade industry has become disrupted by the Trump administration by letting them know that this administration wants America. Now, because some of you guys are saying, How is this affecting America? This is deviating from making America great again, but it really isn't. It's not deviating from Make America Great Again, because what it is doing is identifying that in order for America to be made great again, we have to identify that our allies and our enemies need to respect those who are in power. So, going back to North Korea, many people have called this boy cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. We done heard all kind of stories about Kim Jong Un, or Kim Jong Un, however you say his name. We all know he's got some ticks going on, because he's always talking about this nuclear bomb, or they say he's talking about the nuclear bomb. But, again, just like you and me and you, we only go by what the media and what we're hearing. I don't speak Korean. I love their food. I go to their spas, but I don't know Korean people in the sense of the terrible terror that they have been under. But we know by what the media has told us, what history has shown us, the videos and things that we've learned from online and reading papers. So we know that this man is a dictator. He comes from an evil line of family members that have killed and destroyed and poisoned their own people. And Mr. Trump identifies that as well. Now, I know I'm bringing it down a little slow. Some of you guys said, Shirley, I got that. But what's the thing with Ben Shapiro? This is the point I'm trying to make. Many Americans are not wanting us to move forward. And I'm asking you online, help me understand. Because if you help me, I can help you. But help me understand why. Why are we dealing with issues with these people who do not want us to be made great again? Why are we dealing with people who do not want to see us do well? Because if we do well, we can grow, we can help ourselves. But instead, they speak against us. And that is the evil side of what is going on. And that's the side that I don't like. And that's the side I want to hear from you talk about. On YouTube, Elizabeth says, Angel is, she says, thank you so much, my friend. I love you, and I love you on ABL. I love ABL too on YouTube, and I just appreciate him and everything that you say. C. Rodriguez says, everything is made in China. They stole our manufacturing and made us and sold out. This is true. We've sold all our manufacturers. So how do we change that? Well, the first thing we have to do is understand, in order to move forward in this country, you have to crawl, you have to run, and you have to walk. And those are steps. I'm so excited. This is historical. This is a historical moment for the American people. This is a historical moment for those of us here in America, because we've never seen a president ever do this, and we all should be very, very excited for that. I wanted to talk about another video on this, and I'm going to find it real quick. I'm really impressed with Dennis Rodman, and I want you guys to see this video as well. So let me just kind of go to that real quick. Hold on. Oh. Okay. Some of you have seen this already. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
Side and North Korea side. Did you hear from the White House at all today?
Well, yes, I did. But, and a good thing about it, yes, Donald Trump reached out. He called his secretary, and she called me and said, Dennis, Donald Trump is so proud of you. He thanks you a lot. And that means a lot. Because after all these years, the fact that I somewhat had something to do with this North Korean situation, but I don't want to take any credit where credit is due. I think we all need to take credit. And I'm just here. I'm just so thankful to be here. I'm glad the fact that this is happening. The world saw it. I saw it. My kids saw it. So you know what? It's just hope for the best. No, we don't need a miracle. We don't need a miracle. We just need the doors to be open so we can start fresh and make this a better place in the world, baby. That's it.
Okay, so he said we don't need a miracle. We just want to have a space where we all can communicate and have a better relationship. I can't complain about that, because Dennis is right. Many of us have to understand that you're not going to get what Ben Shapiro is basically saying. He's saying that the president is wrong. This man is a tyrant. It's like putting your flag next to a Nazi flag. I'm just like, come on. Why can't we as Americans support this president and support the ideology that money moves the country. But if we have poor relationships with import export, if we have poor relationships with the tariff agreements that are on the table, we are going to continue to be broke. We are going to continue to be a dependent upon stuff from other countries to keep us moving forward, especially the steel industry. We've gotten so far away from the era of Rockefeller to the point that now China feels like it has a ball hold on us, and we need to change that. Anybody got any opinions on that on Facebook that's out there? John, how you doing? Beth is out there. Rebecca's out there. I mean, I really want to hear your input on Kim Jong Un. Hugh says Kim Jong Un has a bad track record of going back on his promises. Shapiro is an expert, but if you listen and read the Daily Wire, you'll see him song of praises for Trump. Okay, I get that, but you know what? Before you throw salt into the water, Shapiro, why can't we let this savor a little bit? Why, as soon as the same day as we try to bring some type of peace or reckoning to this relationship, why you got to throw some salt in the water? That's all I want to know. You're throwing salt in the water, and you ain't helping us. You helping the Democrats. You helping the people who don't want to see this work out. It's like, don't everybody understand that this man is flying this plane and we on it? That he is the captain of the ship and we are on it? I just don't get that. I really don't. And he may go back on his word. What the hell? But at least, you know what, record will show itself we tried. At least this administration tried. This president tried. The previous administration, there's another interview with Dennis Rodman, and he said he reached out to Obama during his term to speak to Kim Jong Un, and he didn't even want to talk to the man. So, when you have allies in this country who have a better relationship with other enemies, and you don't want to use that mediator, something wrong with you. So, Obama didn't want to see this happen. Hillary didn't want to see this, and definitely the Democrats did not want to see this happen. Okay, on YouTube, C. Rodriguez says, Ben's lost me back when he fell off the Trump train during the campaign. It's interesting that people, because they didn't jump on the Trump train early, then Trump won, then Trump is winning, they just can't admit, you know what, I screwed up. This guy is doing a great job. They want the train to fail. They want the plane to crash. And Ben Shapiro, it ain't crashing. We are moving forward. Taxes are coming down nationally and bettering people's lives. This administration is helping increase jobs. Now, grant you, state to state got issues. California is a hot tamale mess. California's got those hypodermic needles. California has a miscommunication. Gavin Newsom is talking about Proposition 13, possibly saying he wants it to get it annihilated. And do you know how that will affect the real estate market and many people who are living to make sure that they have low taxes every year? Because even if you own your property free and clear, if we bring it to current tax prices across the board, you will see foreigners run to California like you've never seen. You'll see immigrants and illegal immigrants, especially chain migration of immigrants that will buy up properties that were owned with families from generation to generation taken away, because the elderly who own those properties, well, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, going back to this story, let's go to Elizabeth on YouTube. Says, we got to remember that Kim Jong Un has a puppet in the deep state for years. We found out today he's got rid of 3 top generals, BC, were part of the link in the deep state that Kim Jong Un revealed. So anybody, what's your feeling on that, about that deep state issue? Because I even said, I wonder if Ben Shapiro is part of the deep state, part of the swamp draining process. Because the way that we normally do things are now changing. And Kim Jong Un being opening up that door to try to talk with us and us trying to talk with them, well, that's a little bit different than what we have ever seen before. Let me say something about Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman has also been the one we've always said maybe has some ticks with all them tattoos and them colored hair, and one day he's wearing a dress and one day he's not. But you know what? I believe Dennis Rodman has a good heart. I believe Dennis Rodman is sincere, and when he starts to cry, some of y'all make fun of this man. I wouldn't do that. This is a good man that has always liked this Kim Jong Un, even when the rest of us Kim didn't understand Kim. He did. And he was part of that negotiating. Trump may not say it, but keep in mind that Dennis Rodman was once on The Apprentice, for those who may not know. And Dennis Rodman always had a relationship with Kim Jong Un because Kim Jong Un always loves basketball. So, we have to understand there are people out there that we're not utilizing. But Mr. Trump, God bless this president, has the understanding and the capacity to understand that we must build a relationship. If we do not build a relationship, we are not going to be able to grow in this relationship. Oh my God, you guys have no sound on Facebook. I am so sorry. You guys can hear me on YouTube, right? I don't know what's going on. Hold on 1 second. I might have to edit this YouTube, Facebook one. Hold on. Douglas! I don't know why. What I might do on YouTube, thank you for being patient with me, is I might end. I have no sound on, ask Douglas, I have no sound on YouTube, on Facebook. I can't, is everybody saying there's no sound? I didn't even read that.
You didn't read your shadow this whole time?
I've been reading this side. I'll restart this one though. Or just can I?
What, I need to go on? The microphone work, I guess, whatever.
Can you guys hear me on YouTube? I mean on Facebook now? Okay. Okay, I'm going to restart this one again. So hold on a second. Thank you guys so much on YouTube. I'm going to start. Ooh, it's loud now, huh? Facebook. YouTube ain't it loud now? Who's out there? Angel, thank you so much for watching. And I am going to, it just makes sense to keep it up there. I'm going to go do it again. I'm going to go live on this one again. Hold on. And so anyway, I just find it interesting how I'm gonna switch my conversation for you guys on YouTube. I just find it interesting as brown people when we talk about making money for our people, setting Earth. We oh, here we go. I gotta put a new stream in. I don't like OBS. Just for the record, don't like OBS. Hey, look at that. Move key over. Show all services. Okay. Find file. Setting. If y'all want to watch me on YouTube, YouTube, hang in there with me because I am just gonna keep playing until I get this right. Because if I call Douglas again, he's gonna have a fit. Which I might have to do because this OBS is not working. Move key to OBS. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna try it again. Go to File. Go to Settings, which I did. Go to stream, which I did. Show all services. It's not, that's not working. It's just not working. That one's not working. Don't like this one either. Thank you for letting me know I had no sound. Somebody said Bobby said something. I appreciate that. Go live. Oh my God. I'm changing setups because the OBS is a pain in the ass. Set. That one's not working. The camera's on. If I click done, that comes up. Oh, I hate this. Cancel that one. Let's do this one. Let's do connect. We connect. I don't want to connect. I'll tell you what, this is what I'm going to do. Oh, wait. I know what I need to do. I need to stop streaming. Ah! Okay, so what I did was I stopped streaming on my OBS. And now I'm going to, wait, it's still stopping. That sucker's slow too. I'm like, why won't it take, it would not allow me to put another stream key in the OBS. Now that I'm talking tech to people who may say, I don't know what she's talking about. But the OBS, which is this over here, since some of y'all want to sit here and watch me play on my computer, the OBS has a stream button here. So what I didn't do is I kept it running on the old stream, and then I kept trying to add a stream key, but you can't do that if you already have the old key in there. And I kept trying to add the sucker, and it wouldn't. So now I'm trying to stop the stream from streaming so I can reboot the stream and then start my show again on Facebook, which is, this is a pain in the ass. Pain in the ass. But let's see how it goes. Bobby says the sound is good here. Huh. See that thing spinning? Can y'all see that thing spinning there? This is spinning. Let me get you a little closer here. See that spinning right there? It's spinning. Yeah. See if I can get a little closer here. See, you don't get a good color if I do that. But, ooh, I don't think that's good at all. Oh, it's not too bad. Oh, it's still spinning. Okay, hold on. Let me close it out. I don't know if I want to do that. Oh, we'll try. If not, I'm just going to finish it up with you guys. So, oh, Nappy Bear love kisses. I love that. You saw me on Fox? Girl, I started talking about the NFL. And you know my guy, Travis Scott, Allen didn't win, which kind of sucked. But everyone's excited about John Cox. I have been focusing on business and real estate. This thing is still spinning. This is unfreaking believable. I think I am going to close this program now. Hold on. I'm going to close OBS. All right. This is a pain in the ass for me. Truly pain in the ass. Let me reopen this program. All right, I reopened the program. I'm going to start a new stream, but I got to go to now. I'm going to see if I can make it work on Facebook again. We're going to go to settings. Once we go to settings, we go to OBS stream. We go to OBS stream. There's the key. We want to take this key out right here. And we're going to delete that key. Then we want to go over here. For those who want to watch me do Shirley the Tech Game. And we want to take this key from here, copy, and then put it back over into here. this key right here. Okay, say show. So, and then you click OK. Oh shit. You know what I did wrong? I didn't click apply. Let's click stream again. Oh, stop. Let's go to file. Let's click settings. Show. Is that the right one? Oh, maybe it's working. It fetched. I thought I had to click apply. Oh, it worked, you guys. I think. Let's see. It says retrieving. I don't know. It says oh, okay. Let's go here. It says find camera. Let's try it again. Live. I remember Doug said I had it on camera. Has to be on connect. Gave me a new key because I'm so freaking special. I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna put the key over here. I'm gonna click apply, and then I'm gonna click OK. Okay, and then I make sure that they both are in and connect. Very special. Who's very? I don't think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look for another program. If anybody got advice better than OBS, I can't stand OBS. Okay. It didn't pair. It just did not pair. It was working before. Okay, let me go back over here. Okay, hold on. File. Go to settings. For those who are chiming in saying, what is Shirley doing? I'm trying to get my show together. And, let's see, show. That's the same. That's the same. I got the same stream key. Let's apply. It's the camera. It's done. Oh, let's try. Give me another different key. I think every time I go back, I mess this sucker up. Let me exit OBS again. And now I'm gonna go back into OBS. OBS. Let's go to File. Let's go to Settings. Stream. Show key. Key does not match now. Go to Paste. Go to Apply. Go OK. Start streaming. Alright, I think I'm about to quit this one and just turn y'all towards me. And I'm going to finish on YouTube because I don't like this system. And I hate asking Dougie to help me because he has a shit fit asking him to help me. Or asking him to help me. Literally. Because I write down every one of these stupid steps and I do better on another system. Sometimes I just do my own system. That's why the other studio is better for me because I don't need help. But hold on, I'm switching cameras. Hang in there with me. Alright, so if you see, that's my setup here. That's the setup that I'm trying to do that makes it easier for everybody. This is the challenge though. I click start streaming. I do it here. And I put the 2 keys in and the sucker don't work. I push connect. Connect. Why aren't you connecting? I click on camera. Connect. Didn't connect. So I am going to reverse this and talk to you. Hey guys. Thank you so much for being patient with me through all this. I just think I'm just going to go ahead and talk to you guys directly. I'm going to stick to the subject matter and then I'm going to switch up a little bit. But anyway, meeting the president with Kim Jong Un was great. This is the historical moment. It also says that if we can get an administration to focus on China and focus on North Korea's and South Korea's bonding, China is going to be very upset. China's going to be very jealous. China's going to be very questionable where they're positioned because they've never had an administration to disrupt their matrix. Because think about it, they've always been able to play these games. They play games. They play games with people like me and you. They play games with what we have going and where we're staying. I'm like, I cannot see my Urban Game Changer sign. See the Urban Game Changer sign right there. I thought my son took that down. And it just gets old to me. So these other countries who have been able to do that, like even Canada and the tariffs that they've had, they're not going to be able to do that. With this administration, they are going to show, we're going to show them we can make stuff again and we can do better things out there. Anybody got any comments? I mean, I really want to hear your opinion on this subject matter. I know it's historical. Nappy said, what you say, Nappy? Shirley, it's been a long time since we've seen. We hope things are doing well. I am. I've been working on a lot of real estate because I need money. So it's really hard to do YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, have an opinion. People get mad over your opinion. I got some legal things to deal with on that one. But I don't care because I'm not afraid to speak my mind. And I want to encourage you guys not to be in a situation where you're living in fear, but that you are moving forward. If we look at the country as a whole, they're moving forward. Why aren't we moving forward as a people? We're not moving forward because we're not thinking of ourselves as capitalists, as individuals who have an opportunity to make money, to learn about money, and to understand free trade. The problem in the urban communities is that we've had people in the past who've migrated to America and import-export, and they've been able to go to China and go to foreign countries and have things made, and we in the urban communities aren't able to do that. The next level and closest level we've been able to do is maybe we might be able to do wholesale, but we can't do direct, and we can't do import-export. So, yes, that's the level of where we're at. And that's why it's important that let's see what happens with North Korea, because they might become an ally that will start doing some import-export goods with us and what they have to bring to the table. Look, when you address people with money and power, they want you to bring something to the table. What are you bringing to the table in your life to make a difference? I'm going to have a Wakanda moment real quick. If for those who, and we all know Wakanda is not real, so don't start giving me texts and emails saying you are related to a Marvel comic book. But, you know, for those who are African American who may be watching, I'm going to have a Wakanda moment. The best part of that movie was actually the end. Because at the end, they realized that they needed to try to help the blacks in the rest of the world because they had not been colonized. But what did the people of power said to them? They said one thing at the end of the movie. What do you have to bring to the table? What do you have that we don't have? What is it? And that was the end of it. And what I want to say to you is this: you cannot go to people with money and power without bringing something to the table. And I have an issue right now because what we're seeing is we should learn from this experience of North Korea, South Korea, China, Philippine Islands, the Philippines, Singapore. You know, these Asian countries have been able to filtrate heavily into America. And they've been able to strip and make goods and do better for their people. They make money off of us. They strip ideas and steal ideas and are privatized, and all the things our intellectual property rights have been taken away. And no previous administration did nothing, said nothing, or stopped it. It was this administration, this Trump administration, who said, okay, hold your horses. We've had enough. So I'm going back to Wakanda. I'm relating the two together so that you guys have a tie of understanding that in order to make money in this country, you have to bring something to the table. And for some reason, when every other cultures get that, Black Americans do not. We continue to have our hands handed out, or we still continue to think that governmental programs or some types of subsidies are going to be in place and that we're going to have a savior come and save us in the end. And there is no savior. The only savior that we have is each other. And the only thing we have each other is to have intellectual conversations like we do that's going on, that are growing across the country, where we have the conscious community who recognize in order for us to think of our own individual free will, we have to be able to understand that there's things that have to change in place for black people. And that is, instead of talking about governmental programs, and I'm not saying this is bad, but I want to make a point. We're doing a lot of energy on prison reform, which is finally moving forward, by the way, under this administration. Can I say it again? Under this administration. And there are a lot of different wills outside of Kim Kardashian, who did an excellent job because she has the platform. Look, if you got the platform, that means you have the number. And if you have the numbers, you have access to the money. So when people start talking about Kim, I said, hold on. Kim got numbers. She done put her booty out there and them tits in the ass, and she's showing everything. I get it. But you know what? Y'all watching. Y'all watching. And guess what? President Trump identifies that and knows that she has a high yield number, and she is able to make changes by those numbers. And she came to the table and she produced a concept and an idea that nobody has been pushing as hard as she did by getting that prison reform before the president. And I commend her for that. The other thing is, we talk about abortion with Planned Parenthood on the conservative side, but as far as the black people, you know, we've got our mind transformed. If we don't want to keep a baby, we're just going to abort the baby. So in the meantime, what about all these Latinos that have all these babies? Ain't nobody, Planned Parenthood ain't stocking them. But let's say this, hear me out hypothetically. Don't leave me. Listen. If we are going to talk about an opportunity for black Americans, I'm going to hold the camera up a little bit. If we are going to talk about opportunity for black Americans, right? I want to think about the fact that if we're going to talk about two pendulums, one side's talking about prison reform, the other side's talking about abortion. But my question to you is, what about the rest of us who were not aborted and who didn't go to jail? That's the majority of us, right? The majority of black people are not in jail. And the majority of black people were not aborted. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to hear me talk to you right now, unless you're in jail watching, which is all right. Because you're going to get out one day soon. In Jesus' name, I pray that God helps you and your family and whatever you're going through to not give up hope on yourself. Do not give up your hope on yourself if you're in jail or you're depressed. Don't give up hope. God is not going to forsake you or leave you. Just pray and say things and be around things that are going to be good in your mind, because it's a mind game to keep yourself strong in these times. But if that's the case, if you got one side and one side saying the other, what about the rest of us in the middle? Because the rest of us in the middle have to realize, in order to have access to power, you need money and numbers. That's the point I'm trying to make. So when it comes to foreign relationships with foreign countries, they bring money and numbers to the table, right? So why are we talking about more of that in our community? Why are we talking about that more in the urban communities? No matter what ethnic background you are, if we talk about money and numbers, we can make changes. If we don't talk about money and numbers, we're not going to make any changes. All we're going to do is talk about the circumstances without a solution, and the solution can't be resolved without having the money, and the money is not going to be relevant or there because we don't identify that is in need. I mean, what is your take on that one? Bobby's out there. CSC's out there. China is basically colonizing us too. You know what, Bobby? Let me say this to you. Bobby said we're being colonized. I don't think China's, is the Chinese or just China? I think that everyone's trying to colonize us because they don't want to. I think they're vampires. That's what I think. I think these countries are vampires when they come here. They're not trying to become part of the quote-unquote melting pot. They're not trying to assimilate. They're not trying to associate. They're just vampires. They suck life out of us. They take advantage of us. And then you know what they do? They put the money back home, and they send it back home, and they make their country great again. Or they say, hey, at least I'm able to do what I have to do there. Look, this administration of 2020, see that behind me? That's what I want us to focus on. The fact that we want this continual role to happen. But before we go to the man of power to correct the wrongs that we have on the table, we have to talk to each other first. Look, the problem with black people and Trump is twofold. One, we don't have a strong agenda. Two, we need money and numbers. Because if we start looking at our competition who have access to this administration, they're able to progressively get something out of it. What are we getting out of it other than statistical numbers that would apply to everybody else? Yes, it's important that we do see unemployment go down, and yes, blacks are being more employed more than ever. Yes, we see taxes starting to come down in some aspects. In some states they're going crazy, like in California. So I don't feel the Make America Great Again as much as maybe some of you guys across the country are getting. But I do identify that there's an opportunity of wealth, and so I am balancing my time, and so that's why I can't be doing YouTube videos every day, every week, every hour. But what I'm going to try to do is try to bring some of my writings in and ask you to go back and watch some of my previous videos, and I'll start trying to input some of more of my comments. But I want you to realize, in order for us as a people and us to progress, we have to understand that the numbers and the money are brought to the table, and that's what changes the game for us all. Because the game can only be changed. My arm is tired. The game can only be changed when we put our mind in the right place. I don't want to switch cameras right now because I can switch to the stable one, but then I'll have to stop the thread and start over again, and that would be annoying for me. Annoying for me. So let me just read some of the things you guys have said that. Very special. Thank you, Shirley, so much. Loved you on Fox. Thank you so much. You know, if you love me on Fox, please contact them, Alec Michelson, and tweet to him and say I love you on. Please contact Laura Ingram and say, tweet to her. We want Shirley Husar back on again. It really means a lot. It really means a lot when we're able to do that. So what's your take on this Kim Jong Un? Do you think that this is going to continue on? Do you think that, what do you think we're going to get out of it? I think that's my main concern is, what are we going to get out of Kim Jong Un? What are we going to get out of this man? Because if we see he's talking a lot of stuff, what are we as a people going to do? So here we go. Nappy, what do you say? Only a few black people are at least going to Trump to help for his advice and future improvement of the community. I think the fate of Black America, what I learned on the tour, and we're still out there. We're talking to, I just came back from Texas. I was in Texas, and we're talking about, for those who are out there, shout out to Advice Show and many of you guys who follow him, and me and him got together and we talked. So there's some things coming together. We're coming together. I can't tell you everything because I don't like to spoil the goods before the eggs hatch, but there are some things we're going to do to do that, Nap. So hang in there with us. I think that the key thing for us, though, as a community, in order for us to be able to see a future, we have to acknowledge that we need one. Because some people don't think we need one. They just want them impeached. And that's no plan of action. That's just an attack. A plan of action has an agenda, has a middle, and has an end, and has a conclusion. But we're not going to have a middle or conclusion or an agenda because we don't want to acknowledge that there are some problems going on. They focus on the negative. I agree with you on that, Nappy. Napoli, I don't think that they want to focus on the positive. And I love Kiki Green, by the way. Somebody mentioned Kiki. I don't know which one said it earlier. You know, I love me some Kiki Yum Yum Green. And I love me some Triologic. Make sure you guys follow Kiki Green, Triologic. Robert Perkins, he's awesome. ABL, T West. I mean, there's a lot of us out here who are giving you daily, organic, authentic information. Try not to do recycle news. I think that's the difference in some people versus me. I get out there, I talk to people on the street, I talk about hypodermic needles, I show you articles talking about that. My perspective of Kim Jong Un is kind of like what I call recycle news because it's already been talked about. So it's not going to get, I'm not trying to get a lot of hits. I'm just trying to say, how do we make it so that we understand how does that affect us now, right? Because sometimes we see these things and we go, that doesn't have to deal with me, but it does because it has to do with free trade. And if we find out that we're going to get something from them, that's going to make our lives better and our lives live in a more of a productive and lesser, not quality, but cost factor, then that's what we will get out of these foreign relationships. So that when we get the products won't be as high, but there will be less, and we will be able to benefit from it. Who else is out there? Let's see. See what's going on. Breaks my heart. You said it breaks your heart. What do you mean it breaks your heart? See what's going on, breaks your heart. Living in my home state is a struggle. You're talking about here. Girl. California. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I always ask the Lord to give me discernment. And right now, I just tell you, focus on yourself. because that's what I'm doing. I'm putting some real estate projects together. I'm building some Texas projects and some other states, even Arizona, because some people just want to exit. They're just done. You know, we're not Jesus. We can't fix this state. All these sanctuary cities are just crazy. I hate my home state. You know, Bobby saying he hates it too. I know you guys hate it. I hate it too. I hate what's going on with all the illegal immigrants and how filthy the streets are and the littering. And, you know, I've talked about this, the bleaching of the streets, the littering, the immigrants being able to sell things with no license. But we can't even sell incense and have barbecue on the corner. It's crazy. C says y'all should move to Texas. You know, I'm talking about people to Texas, and they kind of agreeing with you. And I'm going to put some packages because I am in real estate where I think African Americans are thriving extremely well, even within the oil industry. I've talked to blacks who work for oil companies. You get to Texas, you can get a job. You get to Texas, you can get a job. I was in Texas and people were talking English. People were communicating in English behind the counters and little things like that. People don't know that they are so blessed to have that we kind of say, hey, we got issues. And C. Rodriguez says, it's great. It's great. I heard Arizona's doing well too. Absolutely. They're doing well. So there's twofold. Do we stay here and fight, or do we run away and try to break away and come back and forth? I'm doing a little bit of both. I think it's the sanity issue that many of you across the country don't realize, that we are trying to maintain a sane, productive life as we live. And now, what do you mean by that? For example, if we go and buy something to eat, we have to every day hear these people speak Spanish. No one speaks English. They're behind the counter. You don't know if they're spitting in your food. You don't know if they're talking about you, calling you all kind of names. When you go pump your gas, you don't know if they're overcharging you or whatever they're doing. They do a lot of things behind the scene to help them their own and build their own. You know, we have tax dollars that are not going towards the American people. Yeah, California. All these things are going on in California. Would you say, see, I'm afraid the same people are outnumbered. We are outnumbered, but we're outpowered politically in this agenda. Because, see, is it about numbers or money or power? Because now you can talk about power. Because at any point, the power people could cut this off. The federal government could cut these people off, cut off all these free handouts. They come here for the free handouts. And then they take the money and send it back home. If somebody said to you, I'm going to knock on your door and I'm going to give you $10,000 a day, you ain't got to go nowhere. We're just going to give you $10,000 a day. Now, you know, if you got common sense, you're going to say this may not last long. So you're going to send all the money back to your house because you know the house you're in now is not a reality check. It's not the reality that you were raised on, that somebody going to constantly give you something unless you're stupid and you think that's going to always happen. So in most cases, these foreign people are coming here, they're sucking us dry, and they're sending it back to their country. And that is what is making it so sad. What can we do? Well, what we can do is talk about agendas and ideologies like we're doing today, understanding that free trade, having better relationships with other countries, and respecting our infrastructure like Mr. Trump is doing, what Kim Jong Un has to change. It has to change. We also have to understand that, you know, when you get people, like I said, Ben Shapiro, who wants to throw salt on the matter, why does Ben Shapiro have to throw salt on the issue of what we're trying to do to make this country great again? That's the part I don't get. I just don't get it. I don't. It's like, are you a Democrat or a Republican? And then you want to. It's like this young kid that wants this man to do all this work really quick, really fast. When we dealing with somebody with some tic-tics, put a tic-tac in your mouth and get a bang out of life. Come on, the man got some tic-tics. So when you know people got some tic-tics, he's like a little boy in a grown body. Kim Jong Un to me is a grown man in a little body. Like a little boy in a grown body. So Trump possibly could become his mentor. Can you imagine Trump be that man's mentor to change that country? Well, Ben has always been about Ben. This is true. You know, I was wondering if it's about him or it's about his Jewish community. Now, look, I'm not going about talking bad about the Jews. So I'm just going to say this because he mentioned it, not me. He mentioned it on Fox News. Let me show you that video if I can have fun with my phone. If I can switch it, let me see. I'm gonna switch it. Oh, okay. I think that one shoots better, right? Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can show you guys this one. I was watching this video, and this computer's a little slower. I was watching this video. What was I watching that video? Hold on. I don't think I posted it here. Wait a minute. Let me go here. This is Alex's video. EX. You know what? Hold on. I am actually going to switch. I want you to hear him out of his own mouth, because I could tell you. EX. Okay, so Alex Michelson just posted this video. This is Alex Michelson, my friend. Hi, Alex. If you ever chime into me.
Into the United States.
Hold on. I want you to hear what this man has to say. So, because we're talking about him, and I never showed you all this video. Let me show you what this little boy is saying. I call him little boy.
Of the summit because nothing was actually achieved. Now, normally, if you're going to have the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, meet with a tin-pot dictator who keeps 25 million people in a giant slave state and 200,000 people in gulags, you'd assume summit. Why? I'm deeply skeptical of the summit because nothing was actually achieved. Now, normally, if you're going to have the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, meet with a tin-pot dictator who keeps 25 million people in a giant slave state and 200,000 people in gulags, you'd assume that at least we get some sort of policy win out of it before he actually sits down with the guy. It is a privilege to sit with the president of the United States. It is a privilege to have your flag flown alongside the flag of the United States. I think that to really understand how bad this is, you have to imagine that the flags that North Korea was flying next to the American flags, those were swastikas. Because
hear what he said? Now, I'm going to stop it right there. He said they were swastikas. Come on, really? Okay, we already know he's got them ticks. We already know he done killed a lot of people. The man comes from generational of evil. Let me say it again. Kim Jong Un comes from a generation of evil, right? So if Kim Jong Un comes from a generation of evil, then you need to understand that Mr. Trump is trying to cause a healing and a peaceful connection with this man. That is the first thing you need to do. But to make that kind of statement like, you need to do this boy is on cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. I'm going to remind this. Hold on.
I'm deeply skeptical of the summit because nothing was actually achieved. Now, normally...
Nothing was actually achieved. Hell, they sit across from each other. They sat across from each other because if they had done this privately, none of y'all would have believed they met. The liberals would have said, including the drain the swamp, including the deep state, including this man right here, would have never believed that President Trump met with Kim Jong Un. Okay? So first of all, what the hell is he talking about? Because just sitting next to TikTok with the Tick boy, I call him a Tick boy. The man is a big accomplishment. What is this man talking about?
You're going to have the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, meet with a tin-pot dictator who keeps 25 million people in a giant slave state and 200,000 people in gulags. You'd assume that at least we get some sort of policy win out of it before.
Some kind of policy win? You can't even talk policies because you haven't started walking yet. You haven't even started crawling yet. Hell, you just set up. When you have a child, Ben, if you got any kids, which I doubt you do, what Ben needs to understand is that you need to sit up before you can stand, before you can crawl, before you can walk. You got to try to get the baby to sit up. He got this big man to come on a table and have a sit-down relationship with him. What is wrong with Ben Shapiro?
Before he actually sits down with the guy. It is a privilege to sit with the president of the United States. It is
of course it's a privilege to sit down with the president of the United States, Ben. Of course it is. But that's all it is. A privilege. But you ain't going to even get that if we can't get that done first. But you want policies pushed? Oh, come on.
Privilege to have your flag flown alongside the flag of the United States. I think that to really understand how bad this is, you have to imagine that the flags that North Korea was flying next to the American flags, those were swastikas, because this is a Nazi slave state. And
see, now he dragged in the Jewish situation with the Nazi slave state. Look, the man is evil. If you don't know about North Korea and what they did to that one young man who was on that tour with that college, look that up. Yeah, we already know that they're evil. Ben, you ain't saying nothing we already don't know.
The juxtaposition, unless you're going to get some sort of real policy consideration out of it, it's a win for Kim Jong Un.
This is not a win for Kim Jong Un. This is a win for America, because this is a win for this administration. This is a win for the President of the United States, because everyone kept saying this would never, ever, ever happen. Look, we got the baby to sit up. We got him to sign. We got him to sign an agreement to disarm the nukes and to start to build a relationship with America. And I believe the man wants to try. So why are you throwing salt in the water, Ben?
I don't see how it could be anything otherwise. Now, with that said, it's quite possible that all of this ends well, right? It's quite possible that President Trump has negotiated something that's great with Kim Jong Un, but that's not evident from what we see in front of us right now. The deal they actually signed is a very weak deal. It's actually a weaker deal than the deal that was signed in 2005, and we have decades.
This wasn't really a deal. Ben, I don't think people are stupid. We all know this is not no kind of deal where we were going to get something out of this as the American people. What this was a test of Kim Jong Un's agreement to work with the American people in making the world safe, to make a world safe peace agreement. That's the start. That's the sit up and let the baby sit up. That's the sit up. But the baby ain't gonna sit up, Ben. This baby ain't sitting up. This baby is just, you want him to run, crawl, and pass the goal. That ain't happening.
North Korea lying about its intent to denuclearize. So before everybody jumps over the moon and celebrates, I think it's worthwhile noting that Kim Jong Un and his family are liars. They are dictators. They are murderers. They are genocidal against their own people. And treating this as some sort of great win because we sat down with a country that, frankly, is being run by a bunch of thugs, I fail to see how that's a huge win.
But is there value, though, in the fact that they do have nuclear weapons, and there was all this talk between the two sides, fire and fury? Is there value that we're maybe now talking to each other and diplomacy is happening and there's less of a threat of nuclear war?
So I'm happy with low-level diplomacy, but having the President of the United States travel over to Singapore and have high-level talks with the head of a nuclear-armed terrorist state, it grants an enormous amount of legitimacy to Kim Jong Un. I mean, Kim Jong Un was treated as a celebrity there. The President of the United States has now put out a video on his Twitter account that shows him basically celebrating having met with this guy. I don't see why that's anything useful. Again, I'm happy to have them sit together and sign a big agreement that actually has very...
Okay, I'm done. Let's come bring the camera back to me. I ain't listening to that man no more. He cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. Look, Ben Shapiro, I don't know what his agenda is by throwing salt on the matter right here. I don't know if the Jewish community is not going to get something from it, so they're using him as a pawn. I'm going to straight out call it out. What I think it is, he's doing a pawn move for somebody to throw a salt on a president who just did what he said he was going to do. Let's build a relationship of talking with Kim Jong Un. I don't care. Anybody got any comment on that one? I'm looking at you guys posting. America came in, rocket, man, Kim Jong Un. Okay, America. Country ball. Who else has anything to say? C. Rodriguez. C. Rodriguez, thank you so much for always giving me your input. It's a win for the world. It's a win for the world. I absolutely agree with that. Let me show y'all something else I found. See if I can get this up there. I found, hold on. Sorry about that. I'm going to switch. I found another video. Did you guys see that video where Mr. Trump said at one point he wanted, I'm going to get out of this one. This sucker didn't work. It didn't work, Mr. Facebook. It didn't work, Mr. Facebook. That stream didn't work. For those who've been with me since the beginning, you guys are patient, because I wouldn't have been patient with myself. I kept saying, why ain't nobody watching me online? What the hell is going on online, meaning on Facebook? And my YouTube people are here. They love my YouTube. Okay, so look. I'm sorry about this little list here. I'm trying to not mess my camera up, but okay. Let's listen to what Mr. Trump said in 1999.
Play ball.
Listen.
Develop. We better do something rather quickly with them, hopefully through negotiation. But we better do something rather quickly with them. Russia.
What if, on the North Koreans, what if the North Koreans don't play ball, develop a nuclear capability, go forward with their missile development? Does the United States act unilaterally?
Excuse me. If spoken to correctly, they will play ball. Look on another front what happened recently, where Clinton has asked our so-called trade partners to come so we can renegotiate some fairness into trade, right? They don't show up. They say we're not coming. Why would Germany show up? Why would France show up? Why would Japan show up? They've been ripping us off for years, so why would they come here? It's ridiculous. So it shows a lack of respect for the United States, where he asks for a meeting, a summit, and nobody shows. Pretty sad, Rick.
But is there something the United States should be thinking about doing as far as North Korea's potential nuclear development?
Absolutely. They should be thinking about it, and frankly...
Like what? Give me an example.
I'll say this. You go in, you start negotiating, and if you don't stop them from doing it, you will have to take rather drastic actions, because if you don't take them now, you're going to be in awfully big trouble in 5 years from now when they have more missiles than we do. We're a bunch of saps. There's no question that North Korea is developing missiles. We give them nuclear power plants. We give them tremendous aid because we thought we could bribe them into stop development. Well, they're developing. So much so that South Korea is now developing their own missile systems in order to protect. And I'm really not sure I can blame them. But North Korea is totally out of control. And would you rather have a very, very serious chat with them now? And if necessary, you might have to do something fairly drastic. Or would you rather have to go after them in 5 years when they have more nuclear warheads and missiles than we do?
When you say something fairly drastic, that sounds like you're suggesting...
Okay, so I'm going to back up some things. Are you guys paying attention to this? There was something he said. Let me go ahead. What did he say?
Would they come here? It's ridiculous. So it shows a lack of respect for the United States, our so-called trade partners to come so we can renegotiate some fairness into trade, right? They don't show up. They say we're not coming. Why would Germany show up? Why would France show up? Why would Japan show up? They've been ripping us off for years, so why would they come here? It's ridiculous. So it shows a lack of respect for the United States, where he asks for a meeting, a summit, and nobody shows. Pretty sad, Rick.
Look, he said this is during the Clinton administration. He said that Clinton asked for all these people to show up. Germany, France, all those people. You heard what he said? And he said they did not show up. Why? Because they already knew that they were getting 70%, 80%. I'm going to give a hypothetical. Whatever that trade agreement was with those countries, our side was getting less. Our side was getting less. So y'all paying attention to that? So if our side was getting less, that meant that they already had a good deal going on. So why the hell are they going to disrupt that? Why the hell are they going to disrupt that? Because they weren't afraid of Obama. They weren't afraid of Clinton because they already had their backdoor deals. But this administration is getting ready to cut their pocketbook and has cut their pocketbook because he has understood since, look at that, November 28, 1999. You guys see that? That's that fire in that belly that man had back then, and understanding free trade. And he knew that because he saw what was going on, and that the American people were getting screwed over by these foreign countries.
This off for years, so why would they come here? It's ridiculous. So it shows a lack of respect for the United States, where he asks for a meeting, a summit, and nobody shows. Pretty sad, Rick.
But is there something the United States should be thinking about doing as far as North Korea's potential nuclear development?
Absolutely. They should be thinking about it, and frankly...
Like what? Give me an example.
I'll say this.
So listen, then he's talking about, switch the camera back. Now he's talking about the fact that South Korea had to go ahead and figure out how to ways to protect themselves because they knew North Korea had some tic-tics and that they were creating nuclear bombs, and that they had to counter-react that. But he also knew that if someone would sit down with the table with North Korea, with South Korea, and have them come in some type of unison ideology and viewpoint to embetter their people, they can embetter the world, and that will make America great again. Y'all got any comments on this? Because I know some of y'all say, I don't give a crap. This is kind of like either over your head or you don't think this will affect us. And I'm trying to break it down so it's more simplistic to understand how this affects us is in our service and our goods. How I'm glad to be here listening. Thank you so much, Liz Jean Williams. How this affects us is because if we can get our water bottles, our clothes, our items that we see made in China to be made in America are made with a free trade where we're not losing in this trade, and maybe some of the clothes prices will come down, or maybe we'll get better quality because we've been doing so much with China. Not only do we have bad trade deals, we're getting poor quality. We're getting the poor. Don't you hate buying stuff and you wash your stuff and it goes bad, or the metal's thin, or the glass is cheap? There's always something going on that doesn't make any sense. How are we getting not only less quality in our wood or our goods and service from other country, but we're also not able to do things and get great things happening better here in America? And that is one of my biggest problems. Nappy says Donald Trump knew what was going on even back then. Isn't that the truth? Come on now. The man knew what's going on even back then. I'm going to play this one again. Did you guys see that one with Rodney King? For those Rodney King, it's not Rodney King. What's that other Rodman? Dennis Rodman. Let's see if ooh. Oh, how to spell that man? I know I'm spelling his name wrong. Let's see. I think. Oh, I gotta go to Facebook. La la. Hold on. I want you to see that Dennis Rodman video. Because not him playing basketball. Dennis Rodman was oops, sorry about that. I thought you guys were watching me play on the computer. Dennis Rodman was a well-known basketball player back in the days with Jordan. For those who don't know, he later on became a celebrity, kind of like Kim Kardashian, not only just for his playing, but his shocking, provocative things, like he would wear dresses and tattoos. Before, everyone now has been doing tattoos, but he has a gentler giant. He has a gentle giant side that people don't realize. He's had Dennis. Thank you for spelling that for me, Pam. My spelling. Jesus, take the wheel. I got it though. I got the video. Anyway, you guys know he's like the gentle giant, right? He's like a sweet gentle giant who was once on The Apprentice, who has had a relationship with Mr. Trump for many years before he even was president. So he felt like this was his baby for decades, where he wanted to see Kim be able to have a better relationship with the American people and with the country. But let's hear it.
We have him joining us on the show. He made his way to Singapore. There he is right now. Good to see you again, my friend. Dennis, can you hear me?
How you doing, guys?
Good. Do you have what does your hat say?
What's my hat
Oh,
say?
good. Now I can see it. So you have a make.
Do it again.
All right.
You got it right there? You got it?
I got it. Thank you. So you made your way to Singapore. How important is this to you? You talked a lot about the prospects for peace when we spoke several years ago. Did you think this moment would ever come?
Well, in my heart and soul, when I first went to North Korea, I was very honored to even be selected to go there. And once I went to North Korea, I was didn't really understand what the old situation was.
Make America great again. That's what his hat says.
And when I first met Kim Jong Un, I was more like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know what he represented. I didn't know if he was someone important. But I knew something was going on. But once I got familiar with the culture and the situation over there, I got really used to being there. I felt like I was at home.
Now, you know both men. You've spent time with the North Korean leader. You've spent time with them. How do you think the two men size up in terms of how they might get along?
Well, I think the fact that Donald Trump would understand the fact that the people of North Korea have a heart, they have soul, charisma, and they love each other. And I think the fact that Kim Jong Un and his family understands that. I think that President Trump should understand the fact that the reason why the marshal or North Korea respects Dennis Rodman, the fact that he trusts me. And I gave him something for his birthday. And I thought I couldn't pull this off. And I said to him the day before his birthday, I said, I'm going to give you a present. And he said, what is that? I said, I'm going to bring a basketball team, professional basketball team to you. He said, can you do that? I said, yes, I can. Even though I knew I couldn't do it, I said, if I fail now, it's going to be a problem. So basically, I got a lot of people together. I got Popcorn here, help me out, my sponsor. Thanks to those guys. And it happened, and Kim Jong Un came to me and said, Dennis, you know what? This is the first time someone's ever kept their word to me in my country. And I looked at him, I always got emotional. I said, wait a minute, hold on. He said, what? Someone's never kept their word to you in your country? He said, yes, this is the first time someone's ever suggested that. And I came through, and I think that he really appreciated that, the fact that he's not normally hearing someone that's trustworthy. And I think that country is normally hearing people that's always lying, deceitful, and not trustworthy.
Okay, now let me tell you, Kim Jong Un was still evil. His father was evil. His grandfather was evil. They killed their own people. They made many sacrifices in numbers to make sure that they keep people suppressed and undergirded. But that's not how he visually sees this countryman. But I need to do some clarification, because I don't want to give this picture that Kim Jong Un is like this amazing, loving, enchanting person, because that's is where Ben Shapiro was right in the sense that, this guy is very evil. But again, if the good and the light and the salt of the earth, listen to me, if the good and the light and the salt of the earth cannot press and penetrate darkness, what good is it to be that? What good is it to be people that have light and salt and goodness to grant an opportunity to make other people blessed by it, if we continue to focus on the darker side of the thing and of the matter? And that's why it is so important that we pray for our president. It is so important that we understand that this trade agreement of understanding a better relationship with this country will help us all be a win-win. And I want you to understand, as black people, for those who might be listening who are black, and may question Rodman and his actions and his wearing his "Make it Great Again, America Great Again" hat, you have to understand, you got to give a man's props. This man was able to be a negotiator. And all he did was take a ball and run from one court to the other. He took his talent, he expanded on his brand, and he went outside of the box and took the risk to build a relationship with a dictator. That's a bold man. You got to have some balls, because at any point, he could have pissed that man off, and that man could have had him killed on the spot. But Dennis didn't live in that fear. He learned to have a relationship, and I believe he loves this man, where everybody else who may be around him be in fear and hate the little boy because he got some ticks. Dennis sees him as an opportunity to change the world and be a blessing. Let's continue on. I just need to clarify, this man still comes from evil dictatorship, meaning Kim Jong Un, and we need to bring that change, and that is what Rodman was trying to say that he wants to do and was doing and did.
I think that if Trump goes in there with a great heart, with his heart on the table, and let Kim Jong Un see him, really emotional as far as like speaking to him. It ain't got to be about war. It ain't got to be about hatred or what happened in the future or in the past, the past. We'll move on to the future. And I've told people about Kim Jong Un. He's all about the 21st century. He's trying to progress his country. And Donald Trump is going to do a great job is try to reach out and make sure that our hands, Americans, our hands are always open, because as Americans, we have let so many people around the world join us to be happy in one country, that's the United States. And now we have really put ourselves on the line to reach out to North Korea, and they've been so gracious to me, my family, and the United States. So let's make this happen. If Trump can pull this off, more power to him.
No, he said Trump can pull this off, more power to him. What do you guys feel about that? This is a step to the right direction. Pam is jamming, says this is a step to the right direction. Pam, tell me, how is this a step in the right direction? Because you do have people like Ben Shapiro who's throwing salt in the water, y'all. He's throwing salt in the water, and he's saying this is evil. This is swastikas next to the American flag. This is the worst thing that could ever happen. He wanted more negotiation. He wanted more substance to come out of this meeting. And I have a feeling of, look, you can't get the baby to run and walk when the baby can't even sit up. So that's my notion. I mean, what do you guys feel about this? C. Rodriguez says Trump is going to award him a Medal of Freedom. You talking about Rodman? You know, Rodman, a Medal of Freedom. Maybe he will. Who knows? I mean, he loves Dennis Rodman, and he wants to see Rodman do well. But I think Rodman, this is one of his desires to do. So one of y'all talked out there. Let me change this camera. My hand's getting tired. One of you guys were out there talking about Madonna. You know, Madonna was a freak, and Dennis Rodman's a freak. So, freak-a-leak, freak-a-leak. That's all I got to say is freak-a-leak, freak-a-leak. Okay. Anything else you guys want to say? There's always feeling of hatred towards our president. There is. Let me say this to you. In order to move forward, you have to think forward. In order to see opportunity there, you have to seize it. President Trump knew that Dennis Rodman had that relationship with Kim Jong Un. Kim Jong Un seemed like he needed some guidance and mentorship. I think the boy needs some guidance and mentorship because he's a hot tamale mess. He inherited a country at the age of 26, and he continued on terrorizing and torturing his people because that's what his father and his grandfather did. So absolutely, he's knowing by watching how the rest of the country and the rest of the world and the rest of civilizations moving forward, his country is falling behind. And he is going to have to learn to say, I need to change our agenda, meaning the country of North Korea. Kenneth just walked in. Kenneth, you got any comment towards North Korea? Kenneth said, no, I have no comment. Kim, reach out. What else? North Korea was ignorant, was ignored.
So the main media is never going to acknowledge Trump for the success that he is, and they're always going to demonize him as some type of fucking monster. Why he does amazing crap, and so that's where he's going in 2020.
That's all you have to say? But what about as far as North Korea and Kim Jong Un and with Trump? Was that a good thing or a bad thing? You like Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro said it wasn't a good thing.
He's an idiot. It's a fantastic thing to talk to people.
Now, according to Ben Shapiro, so this is like putting the swastikas next to the American flag.
He's a dummy.
All right. Kenneth says Ben Shapiro is a dummy. Bobby P said, Kenneth, that he agrees with you. 2020 is a Trump year. Megan for Trump. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with some talking points. I'm going to let you guys go. Number one, how do we move forward with this? We are happy that Trump's doing great. How does that affect our lives? You need to sit down and write 5 things you want to do better to build a relationship with other countries. If it's in business, then you need to understand import-export has to be made great for America, has to be made great for you. If you have your own business and you don't have some type of free trade agreement with direct sources, you need to start looking into doing something like that. Because that's what we're doing here. As a grander scale, the American people now have an opportunity to redevelop an import-export relationship in other capacities and not depending on China. And China's not going to be too happy with us. And I know they're not happy with what happened today. But how do we take that to a smaller scale is to look at ourselves and say, okay, now that this has happened there, maybe there's something I can do for my business in understanding a better business relationship to make sure I'm not set up in a facet or a way where the other side of whatever I'm getting is gaining more off of me. Because what we're seeing by building this relationship is now that there's more of a peace in the community. They're talking about pulling possibly troops out of North Korea and stopping some of those smaller wars that are going on between trying to keep peace in those regions and parts of the world and pulling some of those troops back. You can't complain about that. Kim's sister has great influence, man. Who's Kim Jong Un's sister? I don't know. Did he have a sister? You're way ahead of me. I don't know about that one. Another thing I would say regarding this, I would listen to Ben Shapiro. I think he's also part of either the deep state or either he's part of the swamp or either he's part of the fact that somewhere in his community and his own people, meaning the Jewish community, are going to be disrupted by this money trade that might be happening. I know Canada's not happy with it because, everybody has been able to cipher off America, and now America has choices. You should think about that in your own life. How can you have more choices, not only in your business, but in your decision making that will affect your life when it comes to foreign affairs or even domestic affairs? We all need to look at this from a broader perspective. Nappy Bear Kim Kiss says, Ben is part of the establishment. Yeah, he's been part of the establishment for a long time. I definitely agree with that. And that's why we need more people like me and you who are fresh on the scene and have a different perspective and ideology of how to deal with this. We're constantly draining the swamp. Absolutely. We need the swamp to be drained, and we have to talk about the swampers. And I'm questionable of I kind of shocked about Ben Shapiro throwing his salt in the water so fast when we realize it is killing us nationally by living in fear that this boy he has his pulse on the button. He's got those ticks, and at any time he could trade on us. What else? Israel is heavily investing in welfare. I would say also the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is also dealing with that because they're helping these illegal immigrants that are ciphering off of the American people. And they're probably getting a little bit of a cut under the table from these illegal immigrants. Everybody's getting a little something off of this failed system or this broke down infrastructural system that Mr. Trump has identified that needs to be fixed. And I'm asking you as individuals, where can we stop the bleeding? Well, the bleeding is stopping with Kim Jong Un, but how can we stop the bleeding in our own life? It comes down to numbers and money. The numbers and money that run this country affect you as well. When you go to work, you have to produce something. That production produces money for you. Or you have to produce certain numbers or certain goals or certain time frames. So you need to think about that when it comes to your job, when it comes to even where you live. I'm in real estate. If you want to sell your house and you realize you don't want to stay in California, I've got some properties in Texas I've been looking at setting up to help people have an idea of what they can go in case you're tired of all how nasty the state is. But if you decide that you want to diversify your funds, stay here and have another place out of state, feel free to reach to me. Because, we need to create a better cash flow. If you want to know about understanding cash flow, please go online and look up Kiyosaki's cash flow game. And we're going to do that one day on the Wealth Show. I'm going to do the Wealth Show this weekend. So come back this weekend. I am going to do the Wealth Show. I have only done 2. I do want to plan on doing more of those. But like I said, it's trying to balance being able to be a steward of utilizing this capitalist administration so that I can make money for me and my sons and for my family and friends, so that I'm not just talking an ideology or a concept of wealth, but I'm also able to execute it. And that means it's a balance of time. So unlike other YouTubers who may do 2 or 3 shows a day or 1 a week, I had to slow down so that I can at least structure my financial situation and put it more in place. I would encourage you to do the same. I know many of you are frustrated every day you wake up, you see all the hatred and all the racism and the trash and the illegal immigration and the bleaching and the hypodermic needles and the filth. Try to say, every morning God's going to open up better opportunities for me. I see this city in a better light, and I see my life in a better life. Anything else before I go? Bobby says, I want to live underground in a bunker. You cannot live underground in a bunker. Get out of that bunker. Push those bitches back. Live or let die. I want you to live. I want you to live because God needs the salt of the earth to be more stronger. I want you not to be feeling like you have to let them win because they're not going to have to feel comfortable. You are the salt of the earth. You are the one that's going to make change. We won 2020, but my God, it's great to have a president, but it is not great when we don't have our own act together. You have to get your act together. I got to get my act together. So that means sometimes I can't do all these videos like most of y'all wish I could. But I can tell you this, I love you and I appreciate you supporting me and following me and sharing my videos and all of that. But the salt of the earth of who you are, Bobby goes la la, is you. Is you. Is you providing more conscious people like T West. Great videos. ABL has a different ideology. Some of you guys like him, some of you don't. It doesn't matter. There's, everybody's got something to bring to the table. Wakanda has 7 nations, so keep that in mind. Shout out from Canada. Hello, Canadian. We love you. Kiki Green. I love Kiki. Tree of Logic. Advice Show. Robert Perkins. These are people. T. West. These are people that bring something to the table. Oh my God, my new guy I love. Chronicles of Judah. Have you guys ever watched Chronicles of Judah? Make sure you watch him on top of Cynthia G and Christy. I mean, again, these are people who are in the community, who are out there, who have a voice, who have an opinion that we need to be discussing. But regarding wealth, people know that Dr. Watkins is out there, and Claude Anderson's out there. But I would say go to Gina Lofton. Gina Lofton has advice on understanding how to play the cash flow game, and I really like her ideology, and I like it because she is a multimillionaire. So in order to grow on finances, you might want to look at your Rolodex and say, how many people I know make $100,000 a year? How many people I know make $1 million a year or $1 billion a year? You grow your wealth opportunity by the quality of people you surround yourself with. Mr. Trump is a capitalist administration. He wants powerful leaders. He wants powerful people to set a better tone for America. On a smaller scale, it applies the same way to your personal life. If you want to embetter your life, you need to slow your roll like I have done, and I'm trying to do myself, because as I preach to you, I preach to myself. And I would ask you to watch this video again. Watch my video. Watch this video again. You can fast forward during the part where I was troubled by what happened on Facebook. But I think there's some good content you can pull from this to understand that by having a structured situation in your life, you can make it better. One more thing before I go. What else? I just went away from policy stress. Oh yeah, it is can be stressful. I know it's stressful. I know some of these videos can be stressful. But I want you to understand that the affirmations you can put in your life and you can say in your life can start with you first. And that's the thought that should go first. Okay, Nappy? So that means every day you should wake up in the morning saying, I can have a better thought plan of what I want. Not by the news, not by Facebook's feed on its AI devices pushing their narratives to have it shared on your pages. I want you to have your own narratives to say, we must move forward in making America great again. Thank you guys so much for following me. I appreciate it. Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. And sorry about the technical difficulties on Facebook for those who might have popped on this side. I'll try to do better in the future. I am going to do a financial wealth video this weekend. We're going to be talking about cash flow, the cash flow game. So make sure you go to Kiyosaki's Cash Flow. I might put that in the comment section underneath. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Again, shout out to C. Rodriguez, to Nappy, to Pam, to Izzy, to Bobby. Bobby's been with me a while. I appreciate that. And Dennis. Who else is out there? You guys have stuck with me. I know Kiki may come on when I'm not on live. I love you, Kiki, and I love you, Tree. And let's continue to share, grow, and learn. Because by doing that, it makes us all better people. Peace, my people. Take care.